Hey, what's up everyone? I'm back and I'm pretty excited about this video. It involves a few things I really like. One is knives, specifically OTF knives, and good values. So you have probably seen me do, I don't know, maybe you haven't seen my videos before, but if not, check back some of my other videos. You may have seen my review of the Lightning OTF. And just recently, like very shortly before this video, I also did a first impression video on the Lightning Elite OTF. Now, when I first bought this, I believe this knife cost me about $25, the regular Lightning Elite. And this knife was about $30 or so at the time. So I figured, I'll just try the Lightning, because I had read some reviews, and they said that they were basically the same knife. There were just a couple of internal differences. Well, I think that whoever said that is a bit of a dimwit, because there's more than a couple of things going on here. Now, to be honest with you, if I had known how different these two knives were, I probably wouldn't have bought this one. I would have just jumped right to this one. But fortunately, Grindworks was having a sale, and they had these Lightning Elite OTFs for $19.99. So I'm not going to go over all the basic specs as far as, like weight, width, and all that stuff. What I am going to do, because you can go back to my other videos, I did one for the Lightning Elite, I did one for the Lightning Elite and one for the regular Lightning. So what I'm going to do is just kind of compare them side by side, and there are a lot of differences, more than just there are some changes inside, which there are. I'll get to that. That's kind of surprising to me, actually. There are changes inside, but then there's also a lot of outer cosmetic changes. So I want to just go over it side by side, because as you can tell, I mean, there are 6 sides to this knife. I mean, you got, bottom, top, left, right, front, back. So we have 6 sides, so I want to kind of take it from there. So first thing is, you can tell these knives are the same size, okay? Or like within like a millimeter or two, they are the same size. This one might be just like a tiny, tiny bit higher, okay? So the same. Width-wise, appear almost exactly the same. Now we're going to start some differences. Okay, so what we have is, again, the Elite is here, and then we have the regular Lightning here. Now, if you look at the buttons, first thing you're going to notice is this one's a silver one, this is a black one. Okay, and they both match the hardware, silver, black, silver, black. That's not the big difference. The big difference here is actually on the buttons. It's like this one is, on the regular Elite, is kind of high, and it's a more steep slope on that button, whereas with the Elite, it's a more gradual slope. It's a little bit lower. So that's the first thing I notice. Second thing I notice is we have more jimping over here. On this part, you have the, let's call it the main part of the knife, which is about maybe 3/4 of the width here, and then we have one must be like the lid of the knife once they close it up. If you notice, for one thing, the fit and finish is much better. You could tell this looks like it kind of jumps up a little bit here, whereas this looks like it's just like very, very closely matched up. So that's one thing. Second thing is, you'll notice that the jimping here is not on this front part here, okay, which is kind of an awkward transition here. This side, it kind of gets molded down, and there's really nothing on the edge. If you look at the Elite, it has that jimping going all the way to the side, and over here all the way to the side. This one is smooth here, and it's smooth here. Now, neither the difference in the button, the fact that there's no jimping here on the corners, or that it doesn't go straight across, not a huge deal, but it's certainly something that I think it's worth pointing out, and I actually prefer much better on this one than I do on this one. So that's one thing. Second of all, we have the clips. Clips, this one, fancy schmancy, says Lightning Elite. Has 3 screws. This is just the regular one. It's unmarked and has 2 screws. Now, this one looks way better, but this one actually sorry about that. This one feels a lot tighter, and this one doesn't have the strength. It's a little more bendable. which I would prefer one like this. So I kind of wish this one had this one's strength, but the looks of that you see right here. And like I said, it has the 3 buttons. Now, you flip this over, and same thing with the jimping. The jimping is not here on the sides on the regular Lightning. The Elite, top to bottom, almost, and pretty aggressive. I'd say more aggressive than this. It's wider, and it helps you when you're gripping onto the knife. It really gets in those corners, which is good because your hand's going around these. So if your fingers are going around them, you're getting it here, and you're getting it here, and you're getting it here. So it's pretty good to see. And then the other thing to bring up is the texturing. I think it's pretty obvious there if I tilt it a little bit. They both kind of have that fake, vinyl-y kind of fake looking leather look to it, kind of crackly. This one is really, really flat. It looks like you got some good texture there, but you really don't. It's just like almost like it's just lightly etched in, whereas all this is raised, which I tend to like a lot better. It also has like a shinier finish. Now, you would think this would be more resistant maybe to like dirt and whatnot. I don't know about that, but just something I thought I'd bring up. But this does have a more aggressive feel to it when you're just running your finger over it. And again, if your hand gets wet or something, or you have something on your hand while you're trying to use the knife, that combination of the extra jimping on the top and the bottom and this texture on both sides, I like. So now we're going to go to the 2 short sides. 2 short sides. Well, I'm going to give the win to the regular Lightning here. The Elite just kind of has a flat panel there. This one has 2 holes there, which makes me wonder, does Lightning have a deep carry clip? Because as you can tell, neither one of these has a deep carry clip. They're about the same height-wise, as you can tell. But how cool would it be if you had a deep carry clip that clips on over here and hangs over the side? Because it would basically let you put it like a 1/2 inch deeper into your pocket. That's cool. Now for the last side. And this is interesting, and I don't know what this means exactly. But it looks like it's a little bit different here. If you look at the openings, it looks like it's maybe a bit wider on the Elite and then here. I mean, it's not a lot. It's kind of hard to see, but it does look like there are some differences. And I think that's probably due to some of the internal workings of the knife, and you'll understand that in a second. I want you to listen to this Elite open up. If you can, hopefully you pick up the sound. Okay, now listen to this one open. Did you hear that? It almost sounds like a spring is popping in this one. Listen again. I'll do it a couple more times. I'm not sure if maybe the spring is stronger in this one than this one, and it's kind of almost making a bounce or something, or if it's weaker and then the spring is making some kind of a noise. But this one kind of has a noise that you wouldn't expect from this one, whereas this one you're just hearing blades hit. And with my other OTFs, they all sound like this one. So there definitely was something done on the on this one. I would say the amount of force needed to actuate it is about the same. Actually maybe a tiny bit more on this one, but nearly imperceptible. Like you'd have to actually like have them both in your hands and think about it. And that could be because this one's a bit newer than this one, and I've hit the button a lot more on this one. So there are definitely some differences here. The other thing that I thought was interesting, and unfortunately I cannot convey this to you through the video, is that, and this isn't a big deal, it's not bothersome, but I think it's weird how when you actuate this one, it vibrates in here. Now, it's not an uncomfortable thing. It's not. Oh, it's just strange, I think, that when you hit this, like it vibrates. But yet this one doesn't vibrate at all. There's like no vibration. It's very strange. even larger OTFs I have. Like you would think that the larger ones might be like that, but the larger ones aren't, the smaller ones aren't, other brands aren't. And this one isn't. It's just this one's got that little vibration. So basically, I mean, as far as materials go, for the blade, for the casing, the size, length, width, everything, it's all about the same. Basically, I would give the Lightning Elite the edge here because it's $19.99 if the sale's still going on. But even if this was $5 or $6 more, I would still give this the edge. This is stupid, I know. I like the sounds better because it just sounds more substantial. Like this one, I'm almost afraid if I click the button too many times that like it's going to break or something. And it's ridiculous because it seems like it's made pretty well. It's just that it kind of like just makes that weird kind of tinny sound. And then it's like vibrating like crazy. It's almost like you have like an economy car and you keep like pushing it to its limit and you're afraid you're gonna like just make it blow a gasket. Whereas this is kind of like maybe the mid-size car and can kind of handle a little bit more because it's a little beefier. That's kind of the way this feels with me. Also, I love the jimping, the extra texturing. That's awesome. Clip looks Lightning Elite, like that one better than this one, but this one does feel like a more substantial and a safer clip to me. But again, that's not really a deal breaker, but I certainly would go for this one. If you shop somewhere where this is only a little bit more, I'd get this. If there's the same price, get the Elite. If it's cheaper, you don't even need to ask. Just get the Elite. You'll like it, especially if you get it for 20 bucks. So that is all I have for you today. Hope you have a good one and buy yourself some knives. See you later.